shot. Come on. Yeah!
Needs it.
A combined 26 PWBA titles exist across our 5 finalists tonight. We've got 5 champions. Who will add another addition to their resume? The PWBA Great Lakes Classic. It's next on BowlTV. And welcome everyone back to Spectrum Lanes for the final event, the 3rd event of the PWBA Classic Series here in Grand Rapids. Emil Williams Jr. with the talented and always Sydney Brummett. Sydney, first, welcome back to the broadcast. When we left you this morning or this afternoon, folks, there were 5 great finalists, 26 titles between these 5 finalists. Some different storylines, of course, but a fantastic stepladder final for you, with an opening match featuring 2 great veterans. Shannon O'Keefe, the reigning PWBA Player of the Year, has won it 3 of the last 4 seasons, and Shannon Pluhowsky making her 2nd consecutive show, in fact, here at the Grand Rapids Classic. Sydney Brummett, we've got ourselves a show tonight. It's a treat for the fans, and I know you are looking very much forward to kicking this one off.
Oh, absolutely. It's a star-studded final. You know, to win this one, you're going to have to earn it. I said that earlier today at the end of our final round of match play headed into the show. It's 5 of the tour's best.
5 of the tour's best indeed. And we start right at the top with Shannon O'Keefe making her first show. She will take on Shannon Pluhowsky. For Shannon, it's an obvious situation, right? This is something she is not unfamiliar with. She knows the situation. She knows what to do from how much time in between shots, how much practice do we get. She knows all of the processes. And in fact, thinking back to match play, all of the things that she did, playing the lanes a little further right than other people, making the necessary adjustments. She was about 240 pins back of the show coming into the last round, and boom, here she is with an opportunity for her first title of the season.
Shannon O'Keefe did Shannon O'Keefe things. That's all you can really say. She's going to find her way onto a show no matter what.
That's
we
what
talked
she
about
does.
it. Absolutely, it is what she does. We talked about it a little bit during that last round of match play. She's been disappointed with her performance throughout the beginning of this tour season. She has said it in her social media posts. She just doesn't feel like she's competing at the best, highest level that she possibly can. We saw that from her today, and I have a very strong feeling it's going to bleed into this evening.
She will take on Shannon Pluhowsky, who was the #1 seed at the BowlTV Classic just a couple of days ago. Shannon back on the show immediately, which I think is a good thing. She can immediately get rid of some of the older stuff, if you will. And, in fact, she really did that, working her way through match play throughout these last 2 days. What do you expect from Shannon tonight? Pluhowsky, that is.
We're going to have to make sure we go like with the Shan-O, Shan-P situation here. But with Shannon Pluhowsky, we've seen her be really steady this entire week here at Spectrum Entertainment Complex. Great shot after great shot. Last night, she simply made a wrong decision. That's all it was. It wasn't that she lost the match. Her strategy was just incorrect. She should have started with that purple hammer. I'm sure she would tell us that at this point in time. I am positive that she will go with her gut again tonight, and more than likely it will be a better decision than what she made just 48 hours ago.
And as we continue on in our pregame, you see the pattern on the right side of your screen. It's a 41-foot pattern, 27.94 mils. Sid, before we break down the rest of our competitors here quickly, what do you see from this lane condition, and what have we seen?
We've seen that the players have so many different angles that they can play from. If you look at the bottom of your screen, what we're looking at is the oil from the foul line's perspective, and there's not really a defined drop-off. You'll see kind of hills and valleys that the players can choose between. We're going to watch Shannon O'Keefe choose to play further to the right, and as we make our way through the stepladder finals, we're going to watch our competitors slowly migrate to the left for the ones who have the higher rev rate, such as someone like Jordan Richard.
Our number 3 seed tonight is Diana Zavyalova, looking for her first win since 2018. DZ's been on several shows. She bowled pretty good, certainly last season. In 2021, she was the only player to make all 3 of the major shows at that time. She's back on TV, back on the Stepladder final. What might we see from DZ?
We're going to see quality shot making. Hopefully she can settle those nerves down. It has been quite a while since she's won, so I'm excited to see how quickly she can get her feet underneath her.
Verity Crawley is our number 2 seed. Jordan Richards our number 1 seed. Of course, Verity got her second title just a couple of days ago at the Grand Rapids Classic. Jordan Richard already won title this season. That happened in Spokane. It was her 3rd career PWBA title. We're set to go. O'Keefe will start. As Pluhowsky is elected Shannon to begin the match. First one on the way. Bang.
Shanno's choosing to go with a really strong symmetrical piece. It is a discontinued ball from the Rotogrip family. It is the original idol. It holds the hearts of many people.
And here is Shannon Pluhowsky. And from my vantage point, looks like the purple hammer in play immediately. Oh, bang there too. A matchup of 2 very, very good friends, individuals who know one another so well, longtime Team USA members also.
They've been teammates for as long as I can remember. I'm sorry, Shannon's, but I grew up watching them bowl for Team USA, and I idolized them. It dates them a little bit, and I'm sorry for that. But ultimately, they're people who I still look up to. They are incredible shot makers.
Nice shot there for Pluhowsky. That's an early double.
A better start for her than what we saw just 48 hours ago. She was quite uncomfortable previously. And it looks like a very different Shannon Pluhowsky this evening.
Well, you certainly know she's determined to learn, and even posts about, should have going with the one that got you there a couple of days ago. O'Keefe, second frame. That one kind of wiggled a little bit, but you saw it get on up the hill.
When Shannon was playing this far to the right on the fresh, it was in front of her. Not just straight up the lane, but almost pointed a little bit towards the pocket. That one was directly up the lane, and with her ball speed, she may fear that it's going to 2-pin. That one showed us that it can go a little bit longer than she would expect.
For 3 in a row. Oh, trip the 4-9. Why don't you, Shannon O'Mac?
Favorite hit in bowling.
See the good balance. Excellent physical game. Pluhowsky down 10 early, but looking to tie things up. Full family affair here for Shannon this week. Wife Carrie, son Christopher. Autumn was here, and her baby daughter Emerson also here as well. And that's a 3-bagger. Oh boy, already we're, as we knew, said we would be treated to what should be one of the best telecasts of the year, and it's already proving that through early frames.
There's no doubt that these 5 players are going to put on a show. You said it during the match play with Verity versus Shannon. I believe it was 3 matches to go in our match play that it was iron sharpens iron. And that's exactly what's going to happen on this TV show as well.
Looking for 4 in a row. Yes, indeed.
She was asking for that one to hook.
All day long, we've been talking about what makes both Shannons so good. And for Pluhowsky, They utilize, Cecil said it best earlier, talking about using some hand, but the way her ball roll is different. It's going forward typically, high ball speed, very firm. And, of course, she's been one of the best for a very long time, 2 decades plus now. Speaking of one of the best on tour. Oh, 4-7-10 goes down.
2 for 2 on high hits, 4-pin going late. When things are going right, they feel like they keep going right. If you're Shannon O'Keefe in this moment, it's a small move to the left. When we trip a 4-pin, our ball is hitting slightly too high on the head pin.
Five in a row. And our first wrap 10 and the first player to miss here.
Isn't this always how bowling goes? A little high on the head pin, trip 4, ace 1, wrap 10. It's still wiggling.
All right, spare is taken care of for Shannon O'Keefe. You see the scoreboard bottom of your screen. If you're just joining us, this is match number 1. Great Lakes Classic Stepladder Finals. Emil Williams Jr. with Sydney Brummett. Cecil Scarborough, our in-booth statistician. Shannon stepping up with a 1-pin advantage. Again, opening match.
Seven 9 goes a tad late there.
We'll see it again. Got some intriguing replays.
It really is an off hit. I'm not sitting directly behind the rack from the left side, so I'm unsure completely. My guess would be that the rack was not favorable. Each player has 2 re-racks available to them whenever they'd like to use them.
Baker's dozen. And she wraps a 7-pin. It's $2 in the jar, by the way. If you've been joining us throughout, we're talking about the amount of ring 10s or ring 7, wrap 10s we've had. We said we would put some dollars in the jar. I haven't seen any physical dollars actually go in any physical jar yet, but
Maybe when you join us back at the U.S. Open, I'll have a little jar for you. Whoever wins the event, it can be their bonus.
Okay, we can do that. We'll split it. We'll split it.
Sometimes we have that 300 bonus.
Ooh, I was about to send a text message if they
Wrap
had kept
10
striking.
bonus.
Shannon O'Keefe stepping up, trailing by 10. That's got to hook a little. And the 10 goes late, thankfully.
Quality break there. I say it all the time, there is no bad break in bowling. There's a reason everything happens. That was further right down lane than the shots we've seen from Shannon O'Keefe in the previous few frames. Ball went a touch long, fortunate to only leave the 7.
All right, another quality spare. Well, if you're familiar and used to Shannon wearing kind of that McKendree purple, well, she is no longer the head coach at McKendree. She is moving on to Jacksonville State. He'll be setting up shop in August, fielding the team. Of course, they will begin competition in the upcoming season. So we'll need to get used to the Jacksonville red. There it is.
Great shot from Shannon. That's what you hope to have happen after a wrap 10 followed by her not her best shot. Now it's up to Shannon P to put another good one on line and keep the pressure on Shannon O'Keefe.
Pluhowsky. Lead is 11. 7th frame, stepped out. Oh, she'll take it anyway. Almost a patented Shannon Pluhowsky look, right? She looked like she didn't like it, wasn't feeling it, and it's 10 back. There's no pins on the deck.
Shannon will take a little extra time to wipe off the bowling ball. Urethane orbs, as I like to say. Keep oil on them fairly well.
Did indeed ask that one to lay off, and it did just enough. 6-pin here in the 8th frame.
Yeah, she stood up out of that one immediately.
She handles the spare. Pluhowsky still with 259 max. .268 the max score right now for Shannon O'Keefe. Eighth frame, O'Keefe, indeed.
Perfect execution from Shannon. Right over the target. Directly in front of her. Ball splits the 8-9.
Just an all-star matchup between Pluhowsky and O'Keefe. This must be what it feels like to bowl Team USA trials.
Trust me. Yeah.
9th frame, important to hold the lead, and a 4-pin falls.
That's the 3rd trip 4 we've seen from Shannon this match. If she comes out on top for this one, we need to remember those 3 hits.
Pluhowsky now trailing by 9. And simply put, it's got a strike here. Put a couple on the board in the 10th. Of course, O'Keefe to double as well, but a long way to go. There's a good look at Pluhowsky in the setup. Didn't like it. Will she get a break? She does, but just the 6. Turned around immediately on that one. What did you see, Sid?
Right at the bottom of the swing, you're going to see her stand up out of it. When that happens for Shan, typically she rotates the ball around over the top. It's going to cause a miss to the right. Shannon is unique to most of the women on tour that she will hook at her spares on the right side of the lane. Important for her to get all 3 here in the 10th.
Max scores 248. If she does get all 3 in the 10th, O'Keefe would need the first one. Big shot. Get some love on the 7. How many times do you think that 7 pin, that hit has fallen for Shannon over the course of her career?
A lot. So much. 4-pin does its job. I would pay a lot of money for my 4-pin, my 6-pin to do the job that her 4-pin just did.
The 2-time major winner, 2 titles, Queens in 06, Tour Championship in 2021. It's her 19th career, or 19th championship round appearance since the relaunch in 2015. To put a little pressure on O'Keefe, and she knew it instantly when she let that one go. She's going to be in the 230s.
It's right the entire way. Every miss we've seen from Shannon this match, aside from one shot, has been to the right. Every bowler has their misses and their tendencies. It's important to know what they are for you, so in these pressure situations, you can hone in on exactly what you need to focus on to make the best shot.
Nine spare 1 here in the 10th frame will allow Shannon O'Keefe to advance. First things first, it won't matter.
Make it 4 chip force.
A solid week for Shannon Pluhowsky. That was her 74th game bowl this week. Shannon Pluhowsky. She finished 8th in the Grand Rapids Classic, the runner-up in the BowlTV Classic, and will finish 5th here at the Great Lakes Classic. Again, Dynamite Week, 74 games. There's a different look on the fill for O'Keefe. What a match indeed. Big shout out to the Pluhowsky family. Papa Nick celebrating his birthday yesterday. Shout out to Tiffany.
Shannon tried an original Rubicon the first shot. My apologies, her second shot in the 10th. Now she's going to try a Zen Master. Rubicon is a lower end asymmetric piece. Zen Master is a bigger symmetric piece from the SPI family.
Won't get a good read there. Missed that one, but nonetheless, 267, 238. Your final tally. Shannon O'Keefe advances, and she will face Diana Zavyalova, our number 3 seed. That is coming up next after a word from our good friends and goal partner at Team Brunswick, followed by the first bowling ball giveaway of the night, a Brunswick Mindset, next on BowlTV.
We want to welcome to the PWBA Winner's Circle, Brianna Clemmer.
This token is the Long Island Classic champion.
Dasha Kovalova, your 2022 PWBA Pepsi Classic champion.
And congratulations to Birgit Norreich, your 2022 Queen's champion.
And welcome back to Spectrum Lanes inside the Spectrum Entertainment Complex. Emil Williams Jr. with Sydney Brummett. And we just wrapped up our opening match here in the Great Lakes Classic Stepladder Finals. which saw first an amazing match. It's two great friends and two great competitors in the end. Shannon O'Keefe 267, Shannon Pluhowsky 238. You mentioned it right off the bat, the top of the show, Sydney. The ability and the choice for Pluhowsky. Handled the purple urethane, looked great. A couple of shots she didn't like, and ultimately, of course, coupled with O'Keefe's striking ability, and that was the difference in that match.
Absolutely. Shannon got a couple of awesome hits on some 4-pins that allowed her to come ahead in that match in comparison to Shannon leaving quite a few 6-pins. Shannon Pluhowsky's execution probably wasn't as great as she would have loved it to be. A couple to the right. Overall, an incredible week for Shannon Pluhowsky. She's going to continue to knock on the door. I'm sure we'll see her again in Cleveland, the U.S. Open, or at our Tour Championship week in August. Yeah,
and after not bowling the first 2 stops on the West Coast, Stockton and Spokane, her first event was at the Queens, and then bowled 74 games this week, again finishing 8th, 2nd, and now 5th here in Grand Rapids. By the way, the Brunswick Mindset Bowling Ball giveaway is underway, so make sure you've got yourself out of full screen mode so you can see those prompts at the bottom of your screen, your video screen, that is. And we will have 2 additional giveaways, just like we have had all week long and all season long, actually, during Stepladder Finals here on BowlTV. As we take a look now, who is practicing? It's our number 3 seed, Diana Zavyalova. And DZN, for those of you certainly who know her, March 10th, she got married to EJ Nanichka. Still, congratulations to the newlyweds. But so much is going well for Diana, and has been going well. The only difference right now is the time between titles. 2018 was the last time Diana won a title. It was in St. Petersburg, Clearwater, Florida. Is this the night to stop that drought? Here's Sydney Brumman.
It will be completely up to how quickly Diana can get her feet underneath her. There's going to be some nerves. That's a long time. 5 years? 5 years? That was quick math. Did you guys see that?
It is 5 years, and not 5 years between. Do it again. Not 5 years between shows, but 5 years between wins. So certainly different, but obviously you bowl to win.
Absolutely. And when you want to have your feet underneath you, it takes a second. There's this different mindset between I want to win and I'm grateful to make shows. That is 2 different mindsets. And Diana is over being grateful to make shows, and she's here to win.
Couldn't have said it better right there. Did we get a winner on our Brunswick Mindset? It looks like Jake. Congratulations, Jake. Be sure to watch out for your email. The BowlTV marketing squad will be reaching out via email, the same one that you use to log in and out of BowlTV. Thank you to Brunswick for their wonderful partnership at the gold level. We will have a Roto Grip and a Storm Bowling Ball giveaway after the next couple of matches. Again, Diana Zavyalova, 4 titles, 2 majors, both the Queens. And speaking of the Queens, what a run through the Queens bracket. She bowled the maximum amount of matches you could bowl, maximum amount of games that you could bowl, and fell just short in the 4-for-3 shootout match. She said that performance gave her the confidence and more of a reminder that she knows what she's doing. She's done this before, and things are certainly going in the right direction.
Yes, it's easy out here to get down on yourself. There's only one person every week who comes out on top. Ultimately, we have to sit down and have hard conversations with ourselves that just because I didn't win doesn't mean I didn't have a successful week. And for Diana, the Queens was as successful as it gets without having that win next to her name. Bowling every single match is a very long road at the Queens. The stamina to do so, the fact that her hand was healthy afterwards, everything that comes along with bowling, I believe it's 7 matches. That's a lot of games in a short amount of time. Samstown was a very challenging center pair-to-pair. I'm sure that she had an incredible moment when she sat down and said, I did that. And no one could take that away from me, and I'm going to bring that experience into this week in Grand Rapids.
You know what's it? I just thought about it, too. I remember counting the games last week or earlier this week when we were talking about the Queens, and it was 9 matches for Diana, which, again, we just talked about the games bowled this week alone, coupled with that week as well. DZ with a 16-8 match play performance so far here at the Great Lakes Classic. But Sid, about Shannon O'Keefe, right? She comes off a 267 game. Obviously had an opportunity to throw a couple of field shots, throw some different balls in that 10th frame. to give herself a different look. I imagine we will see what we just saw, and probably with the idol to start, as Diana Z starts to make her way onto the lanes, meaning the way she's going to attack the lanes will begin to affect that right side transition. Obviously, Pluhowsky was left-handed, so it was just O'Keefe for an entire game. How might Diana Z's lane play strategy affect what Shannon O'Keefe might do?
Interestingly, I don't think it will affect Shannon whatsoever. Shannon has been quite far to the right in comparison to the other people who have made the stepladder finals outside of Verity. Verity throwing urethane that far to the right. Shannon's the only one throwing reactive that far. So Diana may not affect her whatsoever. On the flip side, Shannon may affect Diana by giving a lot more down lane motion to her than what she would be expecting.
Well, we're going to find out in just 1 second. Our higher seed in this match, of course, is Diana Zavyalova. She is the number 3 seed. She will face Shannon O'Keefe, and for the second consecutive time, O'Keefe is going to start on the left lane. Match number 2. And nearly the big 4, but still not something you want to see. 4-6-10 starts it.
The shot quality was good. It is an expected leave at this point for Shannon. We saw 4 trip 4s from her that last match. Quite a lot of shots went down the lane in between her last shot of the previous match against Shannon Pluhowsky and the first shot that she just threw. The move just must not have been big enough. She is experienced. She would have made a move. Just wouldn't have been enough.
First time we'll see Diana Zavyalova here in our stepladder finals. First one of the season. First one as a married woman. Hello, Ninichka family. And that's a good break. And it looked like even during some of her warm-up shots on this practice pair, said she kind of had that reaction for a couple of them.
Yes. Diana, when I saw her chatting with her ball reps, they looked a little confused. Diana is a perfectionist, and more than likely, she's blaming these shots on herself. She's saying, "That's me. I'm not making good shots. That's why my ball is hooking early." In reality, it's the lane doing it. And so I'm sure there's a lot of turmoil going on in her brain. What do I do? Do I throw a different bowling ball? Do I slide further left? Am I doing the right thing? She's questioning a lot right now. You can see it in her facial expressions. She needs to make a decision and be confident in it and simply execute.
Mentioned that first shot might be the one to kind of get the feet underneath. Second frame, left lane. All right, better shot.
You can see her shaking her head on the way back. I'm not sure what she didn't like about that one. I was a big fan. She leaves a flat 10. We saw the lanes in games 2 through 4 get tricky as they went through transition. Flat 10s, 9 spare was not a bad frame whatsoever.
And that's a very good frame indeed. And she's got the early advantage. She'll make a quick walk over. In fact, Steve Jacobs is going to grab something down in the original practice area. O'Keefe stepping up, trailing by 10, frame 2. Looks better. Another up 10. Good shot.
Very good shot from Shannon. So a little further left with her feet than what we saw last game, last match. Easy spare.
Again, this Classic Series has featured 3 events. It started actually, what's today? Tuesday?
I have no idea.
A little over a week ago. Last Wednesday actually was the practice session, with Thursday, Friday serving as the times for the Grand Rapids Classic. There's a good one.
Perfect execution. Ball goes straight through the 8-9. It's exactly what we love to see as bowlers.
What don't you love to see?
Wrap 10s. Not cute.
Zavyalova with the 10-pin advantage. It looked good, sit about 30 feet down the lane, and then
Diana's playing the hardest part of the lane at this point. It's completely flat there. There's been no transition. The only balls that have gone down the lane there have been from the warm-up shots from our players in the Stepladder finals. There's very little shape in the pattern in the middle part of the lane. So if she's not perfect with her execution, we may see some designs down lane.
can we see a design made split here? And she will take 3 off the 3, 4, 6, 7. First open for DZ, but a lead change nonetheless, as Zavyalova now trailing by 7.
It's important in this moment that Diana take a moment to breathe, calm down. Heart rate may be a little elevated, like we said. She wants to win. And right now, instead of focusing on what's happening down lane, just throwing a good shot, hitting the target, executing the plan that she wants to.
Fourth frame.
That was a move to the left. Caught me off guard. 9-pin goes last still. Ball wants to hook. She's throwing a version of the halo. A discontinued roto-crip ball. I believe it's the pearl, based on the engraving colors.
Fourth frame, O'Keefe. That one's going to get up the hill, and it does. That idol looking pretty good.
It's a very rounded shape, allowing Shannon to stay further to the right. We said it during match play. This is Shannon's way of using, quote-unquote, urethane. The only thing that's special about urethane is that it is very slow response, meaning when it sees friction, it's going to be a rounded shape like a rainbow. Shannon will, instead of doing that with urethane, do it with bigger symmetric pieces.
Leads by 17. Trying to increase. Bang. Beautiful shot.
There was no question about that one.
of the 3-time Player of the Year. That's about as good as you can get.
Absolutely, and what's great about Shannon in this moment is the first frame, it's like it never happened. We don't see her dwelling on it whatsoever. Short-term memory, comes back from that open frame, wrap 10, 3 in a row.
First double for DZ, indeed. Best shot of the match, great move. Just made that move, of course, now across both.
I was shaking my head yes, and when it got to the arrows, that was a great shot from Diana. What you guys can't see off camera is, of course, she gets up and leaves as I'm about to say this, but Verity Crawley was sitting right here watching the first 5 frames of this match.
Crawley, the number 2 seed. We'll hit this pair next. Our number 1 seed, Jordan Richard. It's a good front-facing camera view of Diana's setup. Oh, talk about splitting the 8-9.
She looks more comfortable with her ball reaction, posting her shots.
I know EJ is excited about that one too. Diana, originally from Latvia, living in Fort Worth, Texas. That trims O'Keefe's lead to 7. So we approach the halfway point here. If this was the TV truck, they'd say breaking on a strike. Oh, what a shot. Continues the momentum. Again, O'Keefe opened up this step ladder with 267 against Shannon Pluhowsky.
Between Shannon and Diana, you're going to see one commonality, and it's their stability at the foul line. They both can watch their bowling balls go down the lane. I always say to my athletes, if we're moving around while the ball's going down the lane, you can't tell me we're actually watching ball motion. And when they do that, they can be observational and make the appropriate move the next frame.
Again, making copies. 5 in a row now for O'Keefe.
That shot from Shannon was slightly left. However, it was also a little firm. We call that a foul line adjustment. Like, you know it's going to happen, so I'm just going to gas this one a little. Keep it on line. None of that happens consciously. It just comes from bowling enough games that your body instinctually will make those moves for you.
Diana did face, of course, Shannon O'Keefe during match play, and this one in round robin lost 226 to 211 to O'Keefe. That one was in.
Yeah, you can see her say, I got around it a little much, cut it off, some people will say. When you're playing the flattest part of the pattern and you miss in front of you, your hold goes away. It's common out here when the pattern is on the flatter side, you'll hear ball reps say, we have to create hold with angle. I mean, our break point is further away to the right than our feet are to the left.
You saw that ball, that plastic ball start to hook a little bit, start to shape up a pattern. And she took the 3 right off. And you see Diana going a bit more direct at that type of spare as opposed to going cross lane. Her second open of the game. Brings that max score down to 215. And now trailing by 44.
At this point, Diana is in a must-strike situation. You know that Shannon O'Keefe is lined up.
That looks good already. Wow. Really good shot. Terrible break. And just like that, you can, even in the building, the crowd, you just heard it. Oh, that, you know, the sail, the wind starting to remove itself from the sails.
It is a great shot. She executed well. Ultimately, the lane isn't quite ready for the players to be that far left. There's not enough forgiveness. That one was a little further right than what she would have loved for it to be. And so the ball goes a tad too long, leaving a 7-10.
Mat open from Zavyalova, 55-pin advantage for O'Keefe, and she continues to pour it on. 6 in a row now for Shannon O'Keefe. And at this point, just pins away now from O'Keefe advancing. It wouldn't be the first time, certainly, that she has run the ladder, quote unquote.
You know you're in a good spot when in the 9th frame you look back at your husband, head coach of Team USA, and your ball reps and say, I think I could try something else right now. Brian grabs another ball for Shan. Looks like an original high road. There is early friction, and so the high road, in comparison to her idol, is quicker response. And bowling balls don't know the difference between early friction and late friction. And when it's quicker response, it will simply respond to the friction no matter where it is.
This one is mathematically complete. Shannon O'Keefe will advance to face Verity Crawley. Last time Diana did win a title, Verity was on the show along with Daria Payok in that St. Petersburg Clearwater Open final in 2018, sponsored by Pepsi.
Shout out the official soft drink of bowling.
Ninth frame. How important is the learning opportunity here for Diana? Since the match is complete, she's got to finish it out.
Really, I'm not sure she's learning a lot in this moment. She's just more than likely feeling all the feels. There's a lot of hope going into hopefully bowling 3 games and leaving with that beautiful trophy. Now off to her left.
We will have our second bowling ball giveaway at the conclusion of this match. Been a very good week again for DZ and finished 9th in the Grand Rapids Classic, 22nd in the BowlTV Classic, picked up a check, and of course she qualified 11th for the Great Lakes Classic and will finish 4th ultimately here in the Stepladder. Tries a different ball, and we've all been there. We've all been right there. Kind of the slow pace backwards. Lord knows what you're telling yourself in that moment.
Probably not the nicest things. It's unfortunate that that's how it goes. And when you're Diana's friends, you're hoping to help her give herself some grace in this moment. She made it here. She gave herself the opportunity. There's no guarantees of winning out here. There are 96 women walking away saying, I didn't win this event. There's one woman saying that she did. And that's a hard place to be. not winning when you had the opportunity to, when you knocked on the door, you made the stepladder final. So close.
Final shot. 3 really good ones in the 10th. It was great to see Diana back in the stepladder finals. Diana Zavyalova, Ninichka. She will fall to Shannon O'Keefe. Final score for Diana, 184. Again, averaging 217.83 during the 24-game match play. 16-8 match play record. Again, a fine week for Zavyalova Ninichka. Now O'Keefe still throwing that high row, getting the look.
I like that she's trying something different. The idol was beginning to be slow down lane. We knew this because it was starting to go straight through the 8-9 or a little bit off to the right side of that 8-9 into the 9 pin. Close to flat 10ing. She will take another look at it here. She does not get any more shots on this pair until it is time for this next match against Verity Crawley.
And that's important to note, that the winner of the match does not receive any additional practice shots on the pair. Those shots then belong to the incoming bowler. In this case, it is Verity Crawley. Official tally, 238, 184. O'Keefe, 2 up, 2 down. Shannon looking for her 16th career PWBA title. She and Verity Crawley have had some cool matches in the past, both match play and in stepladder finals competition. Will there be one more classic match? We will find out. But first, a word from RotoGrip. And following that word, RotoGrip bowling ball of choice. That giveaway is next. You're watching the PWBA Great Lakes Classic Stepladder Finals on BowlTV.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Johnson.
Hi, I'm Shannon O'Keefe, and this is Duo.
Announcing the latest breakthrough from RotoGrip, the Duo, a new symmetrical bowling ball that performs on and off the lanes. HP3 striking power. Plus, a portion of every Duo purchase will be donated to Big Brothers and Big Sisters. That's Big Brothers and Big Sisters everywhere.
We're Shifani, and that's the Duo from RotoGrip.
Teaming up to make a difference. For Big Brothers and Big Sisters, you and the Duo from RotoGrip.
Passing my love of bowling down to my daughter has been a gift, and I'm praying that one day she becomes better than Dad.
It's become a very important part of my life. My name's Jeremy Hatcher, and I've been bowling certified since 1989.
If you're for bowling, Bowl Certified.
Bowl Certified.
Bowl certified.
Bowl certified.
If you're for bowling, Bowl Certified.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, inside Spectrum Lanes here in the wonderful complex, Spectrum Entertainment Complex specifically. Emil Williams Jr. with Sydney Brummett back with you inside the booth. We just saw Shannon O'Keefe win her second consecutive match, this time over Diana Zavyalova, 238 to 184. By the way, the next bowling ball giveaway officially now underway. Again, out of full screen, so you can see the prompts. Essentially, you're just looking for a couple of countdowns to remove themselves. Once that does, you'll see submit entry. All you have to do is click submit entry, and then you will be entered for a RotoGrip bowling ball of choice. Again, thank you to RotoGrip, proud gold partner of the PWBA Tour. Shannon O'Keefe has looked pretty spectacular so far here, Sydney Brummett. 2 up, 2 down, and now facing a very tough opponent, of course, in Verity Crawley. How can Shannon, first and foremost, continue this momentum and this wave of she struck a lot through 2 matches?
It would be to continue her observational skills. Bowling is about observation and then making the change that you need in order to stay striking. She's going to have to strike a lot against Verity Crawley. We know that Verity was our leader through most of this event until the very end, where Jordan Richard ended up taking that number 1 seed. So she's going to have to strike a lot. Shannon was beginning to see that her original bowling ball, she chose the idle,
right,
little slow down lane. So we'll see if that is the piece that she continues to use, or if she'll choose to go to that high road.
Let's take you lane side now and give you a look at what Verity Crawley is throwing and where she's going to be playing. And now, Sydney, the majority of this match play format of this Great Lakes Classic, especially on the fresh, we saw Verity throwing urethane to the right of the lane. Right now, of course, we're seeing now her throw some shots in a similar area, not completely, but in the middle portion of the lane in comparison to where Shannon O'Keefe is. So we'll watch more of this to just see if she will continue that, but it does look like she does have urethane in her hand.
Yeah, knowing Verity, there's plan A, there's plan B, there's plan C. You just keep on going. She likes to be a prepared woman, and so that comes along with this stepladder final. You're going to see her being right on top of where Shannon O'Keefe is bowling. I'm not sure Shannon understands it, but she's been helping Verity for the last 2 games, creating guaranteed friction for her and that urethane ball that she has been using so much. Verity's been going in between her fast pitch and her pitch black. We're going to see her make that choice more than likely to throw urethane.
Do you think, and I talked to Shannon a little bit before the telecast, and we were talking about the urethane use and how that ended up helping her as the day went along, because, you know, as she moved pairs, there was additional hold from those individuals who were throwing urethane. During a match, can it end up helping Shannon more during a match if Verity does elect to use urethane and play near or on top of where O'Keefe is?
Only near the end of the match. There's not enough time at the beginning between the shots that Verity's going to throw and the beginning of the match. A lot of hold will not develop in that quick amount of time, but near the end of the game, even when you're throwing urethane by yourself on a pair, if you're bowling 10 frames, around the 7th or 8th frame, you're probably going to have to move a smidge to the right. It was happening to us on the short pattern as well for those of us who chose to throw urethane this week. It will be no surprise if Shannon ends up with her ball wiggling down lane, or if Verity ends up with her ball wiggling down lane near the end of the match.
That time a fast pitch. We've seen the pitch black in the hands of Verity Crawley to this point. Big thank you to, or congratulations, I should say, to Christopher, it looks like. I believe Christopher won the Roto Grip Bowling Ball of Choice. Miss Carroll? Miss Carroll's still outside, making sure everybody's good, taking tickets. Miss Carroll, we're 0 for 2. We got one more opportunity. But Miss Carroll was wearing her BowlTV giveaway T-shirt, so she has won a giveaway in the past, and she's been wearing it and displaying her BowlTV giveaway proudly. We appreciate Miss Carroll and everyone here this week at Spectrum Lanes. It's just been a phenomenal week. The hospitality has been superb, and we appreciate everyone here in the Grand Rapids and Wyoming, Michigan. We'll say hello to Daria Payo as she takes her seat. She's getting prepared to say or to watch a great friend, Verity Crawley. She just watched Diana perform as well. And it looks like we're ready for bowling.
This time is now our semifinal match for the PWBA Great Lakes Classic. Looks like Miss Crawley is going to get us started. Please give these ladies a huge round of applause.
Verity will get the start. She will begin the match, and Shannon's strategy, in this case, it's the opposite, right? Because she hasn't been in control of who starts. So Verity elects this time to begin the match. Nice shot. Maybe a little uptick on the ball speed there, think you, Sid?
It seems like it. She chose to throw reactive her last couple of shots in practice with phase 2. I'm sure she wants to understand, if this urethane ball starts to not do what I hope, what am I going to go to and where?
And O'Keefe 267 in the opening match. Victory against Shannon Pluhowsky. 238-184 victory over Diana Zavyalova. First shot, match 3. Bang.
Great start from Shannon. Confidence inducing. You just watched quite a few shots go down the lane from Verity Crawley. You're anticipating making a small move. What would be interesting to know was the move to the right based on the shots that went down the lane that included urethane, or was it to the left?
Second shot. Backs forward to sit. It does. A little bit of hold. And the early double for O'Keefe. Shannon opened again in the opening match against Pluhowsky with an early double. Went split 9 spare before throwing out the old 6-bagger against Diana Zavyalova. Second shot, Crawley. That's a good one.
That's the one that you question with urethane if it's going to get 10 or not. If that one's giving you 10 with urethane, you know you have the big OK from the universe to stay with it.
And talk about, again, sticking with the game plan. Verity has used it, certainly not exclusively. There was some opportunities that she did not, but for the majority of this event, in match play, urethane has been the choice. Push, push. It will not. 6-10.
Not Verity's best work there. Gets around it early. That's going to cause the ball to hook a couple feet earlier than she would have loved.
Verity, 28-year-old from England. Wow. She takes the 6 off the 10, and you heard some fans and maybe some friends there in the crowd hoping for 2, saying 2 out loud. And she gets 1 there. Again, Verity won her second title this week. Our first Stepladder finals was the Grand Rapids Classic. The winner of the BowlTV Classic was Stephanie Zavala. Who will be our winner here of the Great Lakes Classic? We're inching closer to a winner. Oh my. And that one was probably the furthest right we've seen. One from Shannon. She pays the ultimate price.
Much further right than she would have loved. All of her shots have been up the lane or to the left. That one, her ankles were open. The ball is not going to come back from there.
Make it. She gave it a run. And we've got ourselves an even match after 3 frames. See how close she came to having the 2-pin move on over to the 10. O'Keefe of the Great Lakes Classic, 14-10 in match play. 214.04 for 24 games. That's the average. To get back on it, right there.
Much better shot there from Shannon. We saw that one go up the lane more. Perfect execution. The shots that come after the ones that you don't love are what are match defining.
Crawley with the red flower to match part of the jersey. Gets the light mixer to go on the right lane. Again, pitch black is the ball of choice at the moment. Be a nice sound effect. You get that light mixer. Verity finished 20th in the opening event this season in Stockton. Missed the cut in Spokane and missed the cut at the Queens for winning the Grand Rapids Classic earlier this week. Double. Oh! Late love tap on the 10 pin.
Come on, 6 pin. The 6 pin has one job description. This is it, right there. You know, when you're filling out the application, it has the list of the 18 things you need to do. 6 pin has one. Knock over the 10. That's it.
I'm looking forward to seeing this application. O'Keefe to answer. She does.
Great shot from Shannon.
Again, after 8 games of match play, round 1 of the Great Lakes Classic, O'Keefe was in 20th place. 234 pins back of 5th. And here she is. Oh, you better believe it.
Our players are going to have to watch out. This left lane is starting to hook early. Previously, we saw Shannon's ball start to change direction near the end of that second rangefinder down lane. That one was starting to hook at the front of it.
Verity now will step up, trailing at the moment by 10. Strike to get it to even. See the deep breaths. A 5-step approach. Even better than all of the others on the right lane.
Verity is allowing her hand to circle the ball more than I've seen her do in a long time. I had a big smile on my face watching that replay. Her rev rate often forces her to be more up the back of it. With urethane, she can use more of her tricks because it's not going to create a sharp motion down lane.
Versatility is key. Frame 7. Saw it hook early. A couple of shots ago on this lane. You saw it read early. She left the 6-10 and chopped it. And now the ultimate price. The old 3, 4, 6, 7, 10. It's certainly makeable. She might have to make it based on what O'Keefe is doing. She'll give it a run. It's online and made it. Verity Crawley. Get that spare percentage up, girl.
Trick shots. We're doing trick shots today.
Great players seem to have a knack for not only striking, but coming up big, and this time it was a huge split conversion. She still trails, but she lets O'Keefe know she's still there, but it may not matter. And Shannon may have gotten that one just a hair left, and it held.
We're starting to see the transition from urethane happen for Shannon. She's just enough further right than Verity is. She's getting some help.
O'Keefe now 6 out of 7. Eighth frame. And I think she saw the same spot perhaps that Verity saw that on the last shot on this lane.
The friction on the left lane does not discriminate. It doesn't care what you're throwing, where you're sliding. We saw it from Diana Zavyalova as well this last match. The left lane wants to hook. We have actually seen it on all 3 of our BowlTV finals. The left lane has simply hooked more.
In the BowlTV Classic, the left lane, because of that, or however, along with that, I should say, was the favorable lane. Everyone struck on that lane for hours and hours at a time, it seemed like.
It depends on what condition you're bowling on. The topography of a lane can be favorable on some conditions and not so much your friend on the others.
So Crawley would look to be maybe an opportunity lost, 1 gained after the open in the 8th from O'Keefe. Will that hook? It will, and something came out that left side wall to kick that 4-pin to the right.
See if we can tell what it was. That one got further right than we expected. Believe it was the head pin that came off the wall into the 4. Huge opportunity here for Verity.
As Sid mentioned, Verity had been the leader for the majority of this Great Lakes Classic. She led after round 1. She led after round 2. Jordan Richard came up to take that lead away in the last couple of games. Jay Rich, your #1 seed. Who will she face? Crawley says maybe her. What a shot in the 9th. And now Verity cannot be shut out.
A deep exhale that she does not have to finish on that left lane. A smart decision from Verity. Oftentimes being that higher seed, it is a disadvantage not to have as many games on the pair, but it is an advantage to choose which lane you get to start and finish on.
This is a must-have here for Shannon, and she gets it, and you would expect her to do so. She's been the best player on tour. Last 3 of 4 seasons. She is down 10 as she heads to the 10th frame. By virtue of the format this week, said Shannon missed her first cut. She did cash, but she missed her first cut. In this case, to match play for the first time since August of 2021. That was at the BowlTV Classic. That's left. Oh, did not get the break on the left, and it's one of those, when you do that, you hope for a break. The crowd thought she might have gotten a break. The 10-pin said otherwise.
Wasn't often this week that we saw the Brooklyn hits carry for us. You'll see Shannon come back, show a little bit of frustration, completely warranted. A player of her level, in those moments, you expect yourself to execute. She simply did not. She'll try to get all of them here in the fill ball.
Get 9, that's 210. Nine spare, 1 on the fill would get Verity the dub here. She does need a mark. A strike would certainly do. Oh my. Two 8.
Not the spare I would want to be shooting with a urethane ball, with a lot of friction.
become a must-make scenario, Sydney. To wait for a win. Textbook.
Verity takes a really deep exhale after that one. I'd be doing the same thing.
Now 2 pins. This separates Verity from a date. Not with the gym, as Sydney would say, but a date with the title match. She will face Jordan Richard. But again, no gimmies. She did go consult, I believe, Sean Ryan. She will maybe take this opportunity to try reactive.
She'll get into a phase 2 bigger symmetric piece from the SPI brands. Big jump to the left. Similar to where Diana Z was, leaves. I think the Bowl Sheet app calls it like grandma's teeth or something when you leave that.
That's again to Shannon O'Keefe. Great to see Shannon, the reigning player of the year, back in a Stepladder final. There was some history on the line for Shannon. Had she won, it would have been that 16th title, which would have tied her with Hall of Famers Carol Giannotti and Dana Miller-Mackey. That will have to wait. Instead, we will have our first winner to win twice this season. It's going to be Jordan Richard, or it's going to be Verity Crawley. Again, 216 to 210 the official score. And on the other side of this break, first a word from Storm and the final bowling ball giveaway. It's all coming up next. You're watching the PWBA Great Lakes Classic on BowlTV.
Your game is about to get better. Introducing SPI Plus, a new digital magazine monthly from Storm. This month, practical advice from Danielle McEwen on setting goals and reaching them. Practice tips from Shannon O'Keefe and SPI Plus columns on your fit, fitness, even traveling tips. SPI Plus. Visit stormbowling.com, enter promo code 2023 and get the entire year free. Take your game to the next level with SPI Plus.
Welcome back to Spectrum Lanes inside the Spectrum Entertainment Complex. Sydney and I are freely dancing to Will Smith here in the booth. It is playing in the background. I enjoy if my wife was watching this right now, she would know instantly I'm just going in on my getting jiggy with it. She already knows what the deal is.
This was the second CD I had on my little CD-ROM player that I was going around playing basketball hoops with my over-the-ear headphones plugged in. What was that called? Like I don't know.
Hopefully it wasn't a Walkman.
It was a Walkman.
Stop it.
It was red.
You are not that old.
It was red. She was real cute. I love that thing.
Welcome inside the booth, folks. We have reached the title match here at the Great Lakes Classic. Emil Williams Jr. with Sydney Brummett. In the previous match, Shannon O'Keefe fell to Verity Crawley 216 to 210, and it was a match of two titans on the PWBA tour. For a while it was even. Then it looked like Crawley may have given Shannon O'Keefe that opportunity to just pounce on opponents, and just like she's done numerous times before. Instead, O'Keefe had a split of her own. We got to the 10th frame, and boy, a clutch 2-8 conversion with urethane, Sydney Brummett. How about that? By the way, the Storm Bowling Ball giveaway is underway. Make sure you click submit entry. Would you have shot that 2-8 with urethane?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. There's a move that you make. Every player has their own kind of idea. For me, it's 4-0 to the right. If I have good ball motion and I simply missed, that's what I'm doing. It's as simple as that. Verity probably has her own. Is it still scary? Yes. Yes. You're like, man, me and science, we're good, but this is still scary. What I really go back to in that match was that 5-spare conversion that she had. and how clutch that was. Without that spare, we wouldn't be having this conversation about the 2-8.
100%. The 3-4-6-7-10 was the conversion and essentially the spare of the match. Hi, Daria. Good to see you again, as always. Now let's head lane side as we take a look at Jordan Richard. Jordan, again, took the lead, took hold of the #1 seed. A few frames left inside the final round of match play. Jay Rich, I watched her ball reaction all day and said, you heard me say it a couple of times, minus the 9 pins, Jordan could win this thing. And her ball reaction suggested that. What should we see and what might we expect here?
It looks like we're seeing the same thing from Jay Rich that we saw later on throughout the match play blocks. She looks comfortable when she gets to move further to the left. We're actually going to see her use a couple of these shots for spares. That's how you know you're really comfortable with your ball reaction, when you're using a couple of the shots on the TV pair for spares.
You hear the voice of Robin Graves. It is almost time. Our championship match, Jordan Richard got the early victory of the season, the second event. She won the Go Bowling Spokane Open to stop a drought. Her last title up until that point was 2018, which was her rookie season. Verity Crawley stopped a drought of 2 seasons. She won earlier this week, so we will have our first player to win 2 titles. Will it be Jordan Richard, or will it be Verity Crawley? We're going to find out next. Again, who won our Storm Bowling Ball giveaway? Did it happen? Looks like Jamie. Congratulations, Jamie, for all of our winners. Again, information for all of the winners of giveaways here tonight. Again, the BowlTV marketing squad will be reaching out to you via email, the email that you use to log in and out of BowlTV. So be on the lookout. Want to make sure they get all of the details that they need to get you your awesome prizes. Thank you again, Brunswick, Roto Grip, and Storm. Proud Gold partners along with Kegel of the PWBA. Richard, the #1 seed, has elected to have Crawley start the match on the left lane. The title match is underway. Fierce again with that ball speed, just like frame 1 of the first match that Verity was in, the semifinal against Shannon O'Keefe.
A convincing start for Verity. Interesting that Jordan is allowing her to finish on that right lane. The only time Verity missed on the right lane was in the 10th frame.
First shot for Jordan Richard. And she did a lot of that today, folks. Jay Rich making her 3rd show of the season. What'd you like about it, Sid?
I love that she's choosing to use a clean cover. It's going to get through the front part of the lane, but ultimately it is an asymmetric piece, so it will go forward down lane, meaning that when it gets to the end of the friction, it doesn't want to do that hockey stick shape, being the flatter part of the pattern. She will want to make sure that she has a smoother shape down lane.
Second frame. Backs for it to hold. It does. Early double for Jordan Richard.
As it went down the lane, I shook my head. I thought it was a guaranteed 9-pin. Very quick off the end of the pattern there. She asked for it to hold. It does. Sometimes you just have to be polite. Ask nicely.
I don't know how well that works, Sid, to be honest with you. I've been asking 25 years or so at this point. Keep telling me no. To keep it even. And oh! First there was the look of a 2-4-8, then the 2-8, and then you see the 8 and the 2 both fall forward. How about that?
In my head, as that one went down the lane, I said, if this one strikes, Jordan's in trouble.
Now, it was that second shot with urethane that you mentioned in the semifinal match. That was the one at the time that you said, okay, this is the one that allows her to keep throwing this bowling ball. Can she still do it maybe just on the right lane? And I'm going to ask you or answer that here on the other side of this shot. She carries there, Sid. Can she throw this urethane piece on the right lane still?
Yes, it just has to be quicker down the lane. So the ball wants to be extremely slow, meaning very rounded on that right lane. The right lane we have seen is tighter through the middle part. She's going to have to use her versatility skills to get it to happen, but yes, she can.
Jordan's got the good portion of the family, mom and dad here, nephews here. At least one sister. Haley, I'm not sure if Kara's here. She's looking for 3 in a row, and she has it. And again, another match here in the Stepladder Finals that is off to a great start and even. We're talking about top 5 physical games on tour. And the more you watch Jordan Richard, if you weren't someone who said, yeah, Jay Rich has got a top 5 physical game, I think you would change that opinion.
For me, Jordan has one of the top 5 ball rolls on tour. Hands down, no questions asked. I believe I said it during the Spokane final, but if I could have one person's ball roll on tour, trade places with her today, it would be Jordan Richard.
The 27-year-old. Bang.
Jordan is unique, similar to Kelly Kulik, in that their hands are quite long. We see that on the men's tour a lot. It allows them to have more time between when their thumb exits the bowling ball and their fingers are allowed to rotate. Creates a very strong ball roll. And 10 pins tend to fall down when you have a strong ball roll.
Verity to keep pace. Right lane. No break this time, and just the 8-pin.
Urethane is struggling to get up the hill on 30. Verity's probably fighting the thought of moving right, simply because if she moves right, it will hook early.
Right on point with that spare shot.
Going to this left lane, Verity's going to want to execute once again. She has the left lane under control at this point.
A little right. And a 2-8. And Verity, boy, you talking about, you know, managing the finer details, and I feel like that's what Verity has to do at this point here in the Stepladder Finals championship match.
I know most people are looking up and seeing 3 bagger, 9 spare, and then hopefully here 8 spare. As the competitive athlete, I see strike, roll 2-8, light swisher, shaker 8. And again, ball doesn't want to get up to leave a 2-8.
Oh. You saw it read that spot early, just like it had done in a couple of shots prior on this left lane. And of course, maybe a little slow from a ball speed perspective to get that one down the lane. Or I'm sorry, to get it to hook towards the 2-8, excuse me.
When we make the move to the right, we can gain so much information as a coach I'd be telling Verity right now, hey, that is an open frame, but we just learned a lot. We made the move we thought we needed to make, and our ball hooked early. That means our ball motion is not good. We're going to have to do something different. We're going to have to use a piece that gets further down lane. That means a ball change to reactive.
Richard. And that one's through the nose. 3, 4, 6, 7.
Not enough angle from J. Rich on that one. She's going to have to use angle to create hold on the flatter part of the pattern. Our friend lane 30 had a little malfunction, dropped the 7-pin. We'll wait for that to be respotted.
While we have a moment, again, thank you to all of our wonderful BowlTV viewers watching. Thank you for a great week here in Grand Rapids. Again, shout out to Spectrum Lanes. If you are just joining us, this is the championship match here of the Great Lakes Classic. Jordan Richard, the #1 seed, versus Verity Crawley, who had the #1 seed and been leading this portion of the event, the third event of the week for the majority of the time. Jay Rich had an excellent day, specifically round 3, which was earlier today. She went 7-1 in match play, went plus 205, and that's just the scratch pinfall total for 8 games.
Crowd has a quick laugh. It looked like when you are playing the claw machine and you get the teddy bear that you wanted and the claw drops it right before the box that allows you to have the prize.
Yeah, my kids often are disappointed in me because of such clawness.
I'm so sorry to my parents for how much money I spent on those machines when I was little. Aced at that time. 3, 4, 6, 7 stands for J. Rich.
Can she make one? She turned around. I think she said, hey, I didn't get this one where I wanted it to. All right, I know I got 2 pins. I got the count. Anything else after that is golden. Quick shout out to Dennis Costello. He's going to be celebrating his 50th birthday tomorrow. His wife got him tickets. The week-long U.S. Women's Open coming up in just a week in Rochester, New York. Congrats, Dennis. Shout out to your wife. Eight-pin lead. And you saw that 6-pin at the bottom base. Again at the 10-pin, wrapped right around it.
I hate that for her. It's the worst feeling. Ultimately, it's a good shot. No one has ever averaged 300. Take the good with the bad.
All right, Jay Rich handles the spare. Richard, again, in the midst of another good week. 14th at the Grand Rapids Classic and 8th at the BowlTV Classic. A little bit different for Verity. Of course, she won the Grand Rapids Classic and then finished 48th at BowlTV Classic, but did have an opportunity to get a little additional rest. Right lane this time, and no, and perhaps even worse on trying to make this one. 8-10 and Sydney Brummett. This is kind of reaching dire straits, if you will, at this point.
There's little to no chance Verity makes the 8-10. It's a ball change at this point. She will choose to go straight and get the 1. If I'm her, I'm going to guarantee myself the 8-pin, but try a different ball.
Pins have been friendly to bounce. That was online.
It was.
It was right on the curtain. That angle was like, that was like playing pool or billiards, as many of you prefer to. That angle was perfect. But that is now back-to-back open frames in a match that began with both players with the front three.
V is going to choose to stick with urethane.
He trails by 19 pins. And that hook spot one more time. Is it phase 2 time?
Absolutely. She hits that one really hard, trying to make it hook. She told us when she sat down with us after the first 2 rounds of match play that she knew she needed to get out of urethane when she was trying to make it strike, when she was trying to make it hook. And at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if that's what she's writing down in her journal.
Oh my, and now 3 consecutive opens. And Jordan Richard, she hopped out of that chair. And it's rare at this level when an opponent as good as Verity Crawley gives you this kind of opportunity. You must take advantage if you are Jordan Richard.
Last time Jordan was on this lane, we saw her 3, 4, 6, 7.
On the 3rd show of the season, bang. What a shot in the 7th. She knew it.
Much better shot there. She's playing catch with the tracer down lane at 10. If she hits that, she will strike.
Richard extends the lead now to 30 pins. With a 6-time Team USA member. Again, now 3 PWBA titles. Eighth frame looking, has it. Straight cash homie.
She couldn't have drawn it up more perfectly than the way she executed it on that one. Verity's missing the 8 pin. She'll get the confirmation to take the re-rack.
Sid, this is obviously, I think, the most important frame here of this match for Verity Crawley. Jordan max at 254. Verity's max now at 214. The phase 2, at least it looks like it, but it is a reactive bowling ball in the hands. It's specifically in the left arm of Verity. Front side view. Thank you, Jason Thomas. There it is. Big move. And you saw that one just wiggle. Man, not gonna lie, that's tough, but she had to do it.
She's sliding quite a few further left than Jordan is, meaning if she gets it to the same spot down lane Jordan is and she's sliding further left, the launch angle is much larger. The pattern, similar to what we saw from Diana, is just not ready for that.
Super washout. May, she gave it a run. And now that max score dips to 191. Jordan inching closer. Again, her parents, nephew, sister Haley. Good portion, certainly, of her area in Michigan, Tipton, Tecumseh, all watching. Wow, what a shot there for Verity. And she takes a deep breath, the exhale there, and you know what she's thinking there.
It's a great shot. I don't blame her for starting the match with urethane. Our job as bowlers is to be observational. Even when we have a great 4, 5, 6 frame run, if they're not all perfect through the pins, we have to pay attention to that. We have to pay attention to our good breaks to know what move do I need to make exactly.
What a shot by Jordan Richard. Just to our right, the family screaming in joy. What a shot there in the ninth, and this one is complete. Jordan, who had not won a title since 2018, has now won 2 in 2023. For good measure, you bet. Jay Rich, the emotion. Plastic up the middle. 7 is good old Pliny. Nice applause from this wonderful crowd here at Spectrum Lanes. Spectators, fans all week have been spectacular. Jordan gets on out of the way. She shoots 241. The hug between Jordan and Verity. Who was going to be the first to win 2? She goes right over to her parents, her family. They're over there. We can't get to it. But they were there the last time she won in Spokane. They were watching. This time they're here in person. Verity Crawley, a fine run this week. Crawley, again, winning the Grand Rapids Classic for her second title. Missed the cut of the BowlTV Classic, but led the Great Lakes Classic for much of the event. She went 14-9-1 in match play. The Verity at this moment belongs to Jordan Richard. 2 wins, Sydney, and a runner-up finish for Jordan so far in 2023. That smells like potential player of the year to me.
It feels like a front runner. There's no doubt about that. A confident Jordan Richard, one who knows she can win. Crazy to compete against. It'll be interesting to see how she handles Cleveland and the U.S. Open.
241 to 171. Thank you to Cecil Scarborough, our statistician, and Cecil joined us this morning, provided some great analysis. We will have our on-lane trophy presentation, again with the Eaton Jr. family, along with Mike Hoffman. Robin is getting that set up.
Before we have our trophy presentation, I would like to firstly thank the Eaton family and Mr. Mike Hoffman for having us here this week, and to give our sincere condolences for the loss of their patriarch, Mr. Mike Eaton. PWBA staff came here. PWBA staff came here in December for a site visit, and we met with Mr. Eaton, and he was one of the best people that you can have for the sport. So passionate. He was so excited to have us come here, passionate about women's bowling and the growth of the sport, and we just thank the Eaton family for allowing us to be here this week, and send our love.
Jordan, wow, great bowling. Congratulations Thank you to all the great fans in Grand Rapids. Man, what a great week. How about another round of applause for all of our bowlers? So, are you ready for the hardware? Carter's got something for you. Congratulations.
All right, Jordan. Hot start for the season. 3 shows, 2 titles, and you're doing it here in your home state of Michigan. To have all of your family and friends, how does it feel?
It's kind of hard to put into words. Like, they are the reason that I get to stand here, and I'm so grateful that they're all here. And my heart goes out to the Eaton family. I know it all too well, the pain that you guys feel every day. And it's just bittersweet to win here in a place that I've won growing up. So thank you to everybody. Thank you to my sponsors, RotoGrip, Turbo, and I Am Bowling, and everybody here for the hospitality. It was a wonderful week.
Now, this week has been a grind. You're probably in the area of 70 games or so over the past 5 days. How do you feel physically?
I feel okay. About as good as I could feel.
We love it. So, words from a champion. For anybody out there or a young girl who wants to, follow their dreams, do you have any words of encouragement?
Start in your youth program. It does wonders for you. And just keep learning and never give up.
Never give up, ladies and gentlemen. Our champion, Great Lakes Classic, Miss Jordan Richard. Thank you all for coming out this week. It's been an amazing week. Once again, thank you to Spectrum Lanes and all of their staff here, the Eaton family, Mr. Mike Hoffman, Trevor, Clover, Patrick, everyone here. It's been amazing. You can follow the ladies tour on BowlTV all year, as well as CBS Sports. Thank you all for coming out. Safe travels, and we hope to see you again.
That was well done by Robin Graves as we bring you back to the booth. We will have Jordan Richard, but I'll be honest with you, we won't have a lot to to ask her after the way Robin handled that. Jordan will take home $12,000 for the win. The official pictures and photos certainly about to take place, so we will have Jay Rich in just a little bit. But boy, Sydney Brummett, we knew coming in as we watched match play come to an end earlier this afternoon that we would be in for a treat. And every Stepladder Finals presents challenges. Bowlers and golf tend to go hand in hand, right? So there were some sand traps, a few divots, a couple of bogeys here and there from a few players, but there were some birdies, a lot of eagles. And Jay Rich with a few more eagles than everybody else here in that championship match.
Absolutely. She was ready, and she said, it's time for me to win in my home state in front of my family. And I'm excited for her. This is a moment that many players don't get to have. The tour, we have very limited stops each year to hone in on those opportunities. She had 3 here at home to get it done, and she did just that.
Good. Thank you, JT. Good photo op right there. That's Mike Eaton Jr. on the left. Jordan Richard, of course, your champion in the middle. Mike Hoffman on the right. And the words that Robin gave, and she told me the story that the team did come out, of course, for a site visit in December. And I remember seeing Mr. Senior or Mr. Eaton Senior, Mike Eaton Senior, still out traveling with the Davenport University squad, which he was the head coach of. So, when I heard something was wrong and then some things certainly went down, it was an opportunity for us to still have this event. Despite of it all, we appreciate the Eaton family and Mike Hoffman for allowing the PWBA to still have the event here. They could have easily switched gears, and it would be completely understandable. But I think they understood what Mike Eaton Sr. Would have preferred and what he wanted to see, what he wanted to do. It was a fantastic week here at Spectrum Lanes.
It was. As an athlete, they took great care of us. It's an amazing time to bowl in a center that is supportive of women's bowling. I'm grateful for centers like the Spectrum Entertainment Complex, like the Eaton Hoffman family. We appreciate them so much, and hopefully one day we'll get to come back.
Well, I don't think there's any question about that. The way this week has gone. We'll have Jay Rich in just a second, and there was one nugget. I didn't want to jinx it, right? But I was talking to the parents of one Jordan Richard, and Dad mentioned that historically the Richard sisters, Jordan, Haley, and Kara, have 5 titles amongst the MJMA historic tour here in this building. And so they were feeling good, certainly, about the chances. You never know how it's going to go. I got to ask you, though, Sid, from a learning perspective, we watched Verity be incredible with urethane, and you knew that there was the possibility that she could run into trouble. She was a great professional by making the quick jump in with reactive. You got to do it. What can one learn? What can one learn as we welcome in Jordan Richard? In fact, I'm going to save that. I'm going to save that question for the end as we get Jordan in here first and foremost. And Jordan Richard, first of all, congratulations. This is the hold on. My bad. We had to get you prepared for something else. All right, there we go. Can
Hello?
you hear us? You're
Yeah.
good. Okay. Jay Rich, our second time getting to talk in this fashion,
I know, it's nice.
which is fantastic, right? You're the first to win 2 titles on the tour this season. What ultimately did it come down to for you to get this job done? Obviously, grand stage against a great competitor in Verity Crawley.
It was just take care of myself. I knew she would be to the right of me, and I was hoping that her throwing urethane would give me a little bit of hold. When I started a little bit further left than I had been all week, but there's a spot down lane that I could get it to, and it came off of it. And once I saw it once, it was the clear picture for me.
But did you see that during the some of the warm-up shots?
I did.
Okay. You've got 2. And you've got a runner-up finish, for that matter, as well. We don't like to get too far ahead. And I don't know if this was ever a goal of yours, but the Player of the Year, we're halfway home at this point in the season, and it's starting to kind of unfold, and you're right now, from my vantage point, at the top of that heap. Is that an award you would like to win to put and add to your resume?
Of course it is. But it's something I don't want to focus on because I feel like my second year on tour, when I started out strong, I focused mainly on that, and then that's where I started to get in trouble with myself. So this whole year it's been about just take care of myself, and it's one tournament at a time, and it's one foot in front of the other. And I can't accomplish Player of the Year without doing the things that I do early on.
This building holds a lot of history for you and your family. What's it mean to win here?
Like I said, it's bittersweet. I mean, I have won so many MJMA titles here. Kara's won, Haley's won, like all of us have won here. So I was really happy that they all came, and it's not home, but it's like home away from home. Like it's just that home feeling that brings you so much comfort.
I know family obviously is important. We've had numerous conversations about that. The one time I know that they were in Pennsylvania, they won. I was not there, but they're here this week, and they've been here throughout a little bit as well. What does it mean for you to have them literally in the building this time to help you celebrate?
I think it's more of like the comfort thing. They're with me all the time, and I wish that they could be with me every day, but of course they can't. They take a lot of time off. My parents own 3 businesses, so it's not easy for them to get away all the time. But it holds a special place in my heart that they take that time away to come watch me bowl. And so I do love them, and I can't wait to celebrate with them because it is kind of boring celebrating without them. I had fun with Lauren and Bree when I did win. We celebrated with Wendy's. I know, quite the meal. But that was all that was open, and we had a 5 a.m. flight.
Maybe we need a sponsor.
Yeah, so it'll be nice to hang out with them and actually get to go home to them.
Sid, last question.
Headed into Cleveland and the U.S. Open, what's the number one takeaway that you have from these first 5 weeks on tour?
I'm going to heal my thumb. That's first thing. And I'm just going to try and keep bowling well. And when I see the picture, it's good for me. And I just feel like I'm in a really good place in life right now, and I really can't complain.
Congratulations, win number 2, and we will see you in Cleveland.
Thank you.
That is Jordan Richard, your champion here tonight. What a job she did. What an opportunity for all of us here. Certainly the viewers have been amazing. The spectators and fans have been amazing. And as we get ready to close this one on out, Sid, I got to ask first and foremost, I'll finish the point on the teaching part. What can all of us learn from the urethane perspective, watching Verity perform well, certainly, and then have to navigate kind of the tricks, if you will, that it may provide just for someone looking to utilize that piece of equipment?
Verity was amazing with urethane throughout almost all of match play. It wasn't until the very end of blocks that we saw her have to get out of it. That also would mean at the very end of our stepladder finals here today, she was also going to have to get out of it. And with urethane, it's like, if you see something, say something.
Right.
And so you have to pay attention to those hits. We saw her leave the 2-8 in the 10th frame, roll the 2-pin in the 2nd frame. From my perspective, that was the cue to switch in the 3rd or 4th frame. I understand that she started out front 3-9 spare. I saw a very different picture, and I'm sure the fans did as well.
Final thoughts from you on this week. 3 different champions, folks, as we wrap this thing up. Verity Crawley, the Grand Rapids Classic champion. Stephanie Zavyalova, the BowlTV Classic champion. And now Jordan Richard, the Great Lakes Classic champion here, the Classic Series in Grand Rapids.
The PWBA has a bright future. That's my thought. We saw 3 young champions, 3 young winners with Verity, Stephanie, now Jay Rich. It gives the young women that are looking to come out on tour a lot of hope and a lot to look forward to.
There's a lot more to look forward to on the PWBA Tour, and it starts just a couple of days from now as we head to Yorktown Lanes for the PWBA Greater Cleveland Open. Practice sessions on Thursday, competition to begin on Friday. And, of course, we'll have the Stepladder Finals on Saturday. I will take 1 week off, so I will leave it to the trusty hands of Sydney Brummett, Jason Thomas, and Patrick Martinez. And I will be back for the U.S. Women's Open, which is just 1 week away in Rochester, New York, the second major of the PWBA season. What a week it's been. Again, thank you to everyone here at Spectrum Lanes and the Spectrum Entertainment Complex. Mike Eaton Jr., the entire Eaton family, and Mike Hoffman as well. Again, that's just a job well done, and we look forward to returning here at one point in the future. I would love to thank the United States Bowling Congress and the USBC Board, the Bowling Proprietors Association of America, and the BPAA Board, all of our gold partners, Kegel, Storm, Rotogrip, and Brunswick, and those last 3 providing bowling balls for all of our stepladder finals this week and throughout the season. Thank you so much to all of those brands. Finally, the PWBA athletes, Sid included in that regard. Fantastic shows we've had this week. Great weeks of competition. We thank them so much. And you, the BowlTV community, the best bowling fans in the business. Sydney Brummett, it's been a pleasure to share this broadcast with you throughout the season. Thank you so much, and a fantastic job today.
Thank you.
For Sydney Brummett, Jason Thomas, our producer, Patrick Martinez. More social content, by the way, coming out on the YouTube channel at PWBA Tour, and follow the PWBA Tour on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram, again, at PWBA Tour. For Robin Graves, Damon Sirocco, Gene Koenig, Devin Jones, the entire staff and crew, Lance from Brunswick, excellent job. My name is Emil Williams Jr. We'll see you in just a couple of days from Yorktown Lanes for the Greater Cleveland Open. This has been a presentation of the PWBA Great Lakes Classic. You watched it live and only on BowlTV.com. Bowling lives here. Good night, folks.
Great shot. Come on. Yeah!
Needs it.